Intro. One morning, I looked in the mirror. One morning, I was brushing my teeth, like always, still half asleep, when I caught my reflection in the mirror. I paused, and then a quiet realization surfaced. So I'm in my 40s, not just technically, not just on paper. It felt different. My face had changed. My eyes carried more stories. There was no drama to it, just stillness, and maybe a little disbelief. I used to think people in their 40s had everything figured out. They were steady, wise, confident. But now that I'm here, I feel far from that. Instead, I feel like I'm still building, still asking questions. The more I looked, the more I saw. It's subtle changes that told me I was entering a new chapter. And so I started reflecting. Not with panic, but with curiosity. If you're in your 40s tour, close, I hope this story feels like a soft place to land. Not a how-to, just a gentle reflection from someone walking the same path. 1. Health. Listening to my body differently. In my 30s, I could bounce back from anything. Late nights, bad food, stress. It was manageable. But in my 40s, something changed. Even after a full night's sleep, I'd wake up tired. My knees ached on the stairs. My body began to speak in new ways, not through pain, but through whispers. Slow down. Pay attention. At first, I ignored it. Thought I was just stressed or overworked. But deep down, I knew this was different. So I started small. Morning walks, less junk food, annual checkups, no more skipping. It wasn't about chasing youth. It was about choosing presence. Caring for my health became a quiet way of saying, you matter. Not to impress anyone, but to stay steady for me and the people I love. In your 40s, you realize, health isn't a background thing anymore. It is the foundation. It's what gives you energy, calm, and clarity. And once you feel that again, you never want to go back. 2. Money. Rewriting my relationship with IT. Money used to be something I didn't think much about. As long as bills were paid, I figured I was fine. But one day, I opened my banking app and something felt off. Not because of some big expense, but because the numbers didn't match how I thought I was living. I realized I had no clear plan, no real direction. In your 40s, expenses get heavier: kids, parents, repairs, emergencies. And suddenly, someday is now. So I started tracking every dollar, cutting subscriptions I forgot about, setting small goals: $50 to savings, a fund instead of fast food. It wasn't about wealth. It was about safety, peace. Every month now, I ask, what did I do for future me? Even if it's small, even if it's just awareness. Money isn't just a tool, it's a mirror. And in my 40s, I wanted to reflect responsibility, no avoidance. 3. Career. Finding alignment, not just security. I've worked hard for a long time. 15 years in one company gave me stability. But one afternoon, while answering yet another email, I paused and asked, do I still want this? Not because I hated it, but because it no longer fit. In your 40s, work becomes more than a paycheck. You want purpose. You want to know your time is going somewhere meaningful. So I started exploring online courses, writing again, not quitting everything, just expanding, asking, what else could I be? Over time, I built a small side project. It doesn't make headlines, but it makes me feel alive. You don't have to burn it all down to change. You just have to start listening again. Because this might be your last best chance to realign. 4. Relationships. Fewer, deeper, realer. There was a time I believed a big network meant success. More friends, more messages, more invitations. But lately, I've realized that more doesn't always mean better. I started noticing how I felt after social events, often drained. And I asked myself, who am I keeping in my life out of habit? So I made space. I left old group chats. I said no more often. And the surprising thing? I didn't feel lonelier. I felt lighter. Now, I value a few voices over the noise of many. People who see me, who meet me where I am. Your 40s teach you that love isn't loud. It's consistent. And connection isn't about frequency. It's about feeling safe. 5. Family. Relearning how to connect. With my family, the distance wasn't physical, it was emotional. We lived together, but sometimes we barely spoke. Meals were quiet. Texts were short. Days blurred. I used to think it was just life. Everyone's busy. It's normal, right? But one night, I looked around the dinner table. Phones out. no eye contact. And I thought we're together, but we're not with each other. So I started small. One honest question a day to my kid, short walks with my spouse, random calls to my parents, just to say hi. Not dramatic change, just presence. And little by little, things shifted. The silence softened. The warmth returned. Connection isn't automatic. It's built, chosen, rechosen. 6. Time for myself, coming back to who I am. One night, I was alone in the living room, scrolling through my phone, and I realized, I haven't done anything just for me in weeks. No hobbies, no quiet time, just tasks. So I started again, reading at cafes, playing old songs, writing with no purpose. Even 20 minutes alone each day made a difference. Because before I'm anything to anyone else, I'm still me. And if I don't spend time with that person, I start to disappear. Time for yourself isn't selfish. It's how you stay whole. 7. Mental and emotional growth, softening into who I am. Burnout doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just everything feeling too loud. Even silence. I found myself snapping, then apologizing, then wondering why I felt so on edge all the time. Eventually, I sat still. 10 minutes. No music. Just breath. And I asked myself, what's really going on here? That one question changed things. Now, I check in. A few journal lines at night. A walk with no destination. Therapy when I need it. In your 40s, growth isn't about climbing higher. It's about sinking deeper. Becoming more rooted. More kin to yourself, especially. Closing. The second half begins here. If your 30s were about building, your 40s are about becoming. Becoming more honest, more aligned, more present. You don't have to change your whole life. Just listen to the parts of you that have been whispering. To your health, your heart, your pace, your peace. And if you're thinking, maybe it's too late for me, let me tell you something, as someone standing right beside you. It's not too late. In fact, it might be the perfect time. Thank you for listening. If this resonated, you're not alone. Let's keep walking together.